I'll just edit this. Don't worry if there's like a 2-minute break there. I'm wondering how much is objectification necessary for sexual arousal, or
For anybody or for a sex addict?
for anybody?
I don't think it's necessary. I think it can be a part of sexual arousal, but I don't think it's a necessity for all people. I think a person that can accept a mature version of love and understands how intimacy operates and had a healthy childhood, understands the nature of that. I don't think that the person in front of them becomes an object necessarily, and I don't think that they become a mixture of body parts put together in a certain way.
Is objectification always harmful?
No, I think that again, I think it's a natural part to some degree for all people, but I don't think it's harmful unless again it becomes a problem.
Right. Have you read the book Passionate Marriage by David Schnock?
Yeah, some time ago I did. I don't want to comment too much on any particular book because my tastes, first of all, change. You know, I may at one point, you know, disagree with some parts or agree with some parts later to not be so sure. So I've learned not to put too much credence on any particular thing, yet I also want to learn from those things. And I don't know how much Passionate Marriage focuses on the problems of sex addiction.
Not so much, but it's on the topic of keeping sexual passion alive.
Yeah, and there's quite a few books out there. The problem with it is when you're dealing with someone, say, with sex addiction, this is someone who goes to Magic Mountain and started out on a small roller coaster. And that small roller coaster isn't doing it for them anymore. Mm-hmm. Now they're on the biggest roller coaster and they have to do more and more dangerous and risky things to get the same wee that they got on the little one. Mm-hmm. Now you're asking that person to go do a little roller coaster. That is going to be really hard, and expecting them to be satisfied with that when they've associated sex with that kind of stimulation.
Yeah.
Instead of recognizing, okay, the stimulation may come from being creative. It may come from role-playing. It may take work. It's not all about spontaneity, and it's not all about having a visual effect provided for a person. Also, quite often, intimacy itself is the problem that triggers sex addiction. If a person has issues, say, with their mother, which is quite common, the closer he gets to his wife, the more she becomes mother. And it's really hard to see that as a sexual person. I love this person, I respect this person, but I can't see her as a dirty slut.
Yeah.
Pardon my language. I don't know if
that's fine. You can use any language.
All right, but you see, there's a problem there. Although she may want to be one, he can't visualize or fathom. It feels icky.
Yeah.
And so that's where he has to go outside of the relationship because he feels like he can't reconcile the two. Whenever a woman becomes real, which means they have expectations and demands, that also can kill it for them. You know, the fantasy is she's going to love me no matter what I do, how I smell, how I eat, where I put my clothes, how much I contribute to the relationship. The fact that it doesn't matter I forgot your anniversary, you need to stop complaining. That is a fantasy in itself, that having someone there with unconditional love, like the mom you had when you were 2, guess where he's going to end up? He's going to go back on the changing table. He's going to go in the massage parlor on the table and have his diapers changed right there, where it's unconditional and it's a fantasy world, and they cool all over him like whatever age he was hoping to go back to.
Did you see the movie Analyze This?
No, I didn't.
There's a great scene where the mafia figure has a psychiatrist, and the psychiatrist asks the mafia figure like why he goes outside of the marriage for blowjobs, and the mafia guy says, well, those are the lips that kiss my children, good
Right,
morning.
that's quite common. Yeah.
I thought that was like a great line.
Yeah, and that's a problem for a lot of people. Also, after childbirth, to view that, to witness that,
Yeah.
I'm going to go back in there?
Yeah.
No way.
Yeah.
It's too much. It's too real.
Yeah.
In our society, we use deodorants, we do this, we do that. We have all these images of people, how they should look. Everything becomes an image of something. In primitive societies, you saw a lot of stuff daily as part of this is how life is and this is what people do. And there was less squeamishness about what is expected from a woman, what is expected of a man. And they had their separate groups. I think couples too expect from one person today what a whole community used to do.
Right.
And there's a book called Mating in Captivity, great title. They don't address sex addiction, which I think is, a subject that the book doesn't give credence to, so it doesn't hold water for that population, but it says fire needs air to burn. In other words, when people are on top of each other all day long, they do everything together, and they're totally enmeshed. They don't have too many outside friends and activities for whatever reason. Their sex life, I don't imagine, is going to be that great for very long because it's just too familiar. There's no sense of mystery between the two of them. There's nothing that they bring into the relationship from the outside. So I think that, too, our society does ask us to expect so much from one person compared to what was expected at some other point in time.
Now, I've never been married, so I've gone out with a lot of women, and I found that the women that you have the craziest sex with are the least reliable, the least likely person that you want to have in your real life. It's like it's almost like an iron law. Like if they're going to be freaky in the bedroom, they tend to be unreliable in the rest of your life. And I haven't found this as just my own complaint when I talk to my male friends.
My female friends would have just said the opposite, that the guys that were freaky in the bedroom were
Yeah.
totally unreliable.
Yeah.
So your guess is as good as mine on that one. I can't tell you why that is,
Yeah.
or I can't. I don't think that has to be so.
Yeah.
I think that the people we pick are the people that we've picked, and we come up to our own conclusions with that. But I don't think that that's necessarily true for all people.
One of the exercises that I was struck by in the book Passionate Marriage was that he advocates making love with your eyes open, and it's much harder to be enacting an objectifying fantasy if you've got your eyes open while you're making love to your partner.
Well, at least you'll be caught if you are. You'll have that look on your face that she'll say, "Wait a minute, come back here." She'll know.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's hard to do it that way, and quite often people with sex addiction also want their partners not to see them. They'll want to blindfold their partner so they won't be seen as the person that does what they do.
Yeah.
So it goes both ways. They don't want to be seen any more than they want to look at. The word intimacy was also known as into me see. It has to do with seeing and visualizing in a different way.
I wrote on the porn industry for about a dozen years on and off, and one of the things that interested me was that once people knew each other in the industry, they could no longer look at the other person's porn videos